It's good, y'all. Welcome back to Niner Wire. I'm your host, Sam, and today we are back for the 7th pregame analysis of the season. Week 7, man. This season is flying by so far. We got a major game against New England Patriots, interconference matchup, must-win game for both teams. We're going to break it down all here for you right now. And for this episode, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Kobe. What's good, Kobe?
What's up, people? How we doing this morning? It's game day.
Yeah, man. Game day. I'm hyped, man. I mean, this is a big game, not only for the team, but I mean, I'm the only Niners fan in my family. Everyone else is Patriots fan. So this game definitely has, yeah, really. So this game definitely has a lot of personal impact for me. So I definitely want this win badly, but yeah, definitely, man. But
that's an interesting household. I mean,
yeah, it's
so
definitely an interesting household. Well, I mean, my entire family's from New England. I'm born and raised here. So yeah, that's how it worked out. But anyways, guys, we got a big game today. We're going to break it down to you here all right now. But guys, before we get into it, make sure to follow me on Twitter at NinerWireSam. My Instagram is at NinerWire_YT. I post a lot of stuff there, a lot of sports content, a lot of Niners content. Make sure to check that out. Also, gotta make sure to follow Kobe on Twitter and his on Twitter. I don't know why I put your IG there, but his Twitter's at Fake Kobe. Yeah, I know. Instagram. Yeah, I don't know why I put that there on accident. That might have been a typo. Also, guys, he's host of the Faithful Four podcast. I was on the episode that went out on Tuesday, I believe. Make sure to check that out. Great podcast. If you want extra Niners content, make sure to check that out. You got to check that out. Also, as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to leave them in the chat. We're happy to answer them on the stream. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So, obviously, a big game today. You got any opening thoughts before we get into the normal progression?
Well, I mean, it's a big time matchup. I think this is probably one of the more winnable games of our next 6. So I think this is one we definitely have to get. But hey, Kyle Shanahan, chance to get some revenge here. We're going up against Bill Belichick. We all know Super Bowl 51. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo do on the field today.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo revenge game too. And we'll definitely talk about the winnable aspect because I definitely think there's definitely some challenges. Cam Newton's going to be, at least from my side, Cam Newton's going to be brought up a lot in this episode because that is stopping him is going to be the main key of the game. And we can just get right into it. Usually we go offense, defense for Niners, offense, defense for Patriots. But let's just start off with the Niners defensive key, and that is stopping Cam Newton. In my notes, I wrote that in all caps because we are terrible against mobile quarterbacks, and if we cannot stop him, he's gonna dominate. And I really don't need to say much about this other than how important it is just stop him today because they're gonna run a lot of play action. They're gonna get him out of the pocket. He's gonna scramble a lot today. If we're not gonna stop him, we're gonna lose this game. We're gonna have no chance to win this game. The defense can look terrible. And I'm still convinced that Robert Saleh hasn't made that many adjustments since the Arizona game where Kyler Murray absolutely torched us.
Yeah, I mean, I think our entire podcast agrees with you on that. We were talking about it yesterday in our recording. Episode went live yesterday. Yeah, I said if they can't stop Cam Newton, we can't win this game. The 49ers stink at defending mobile quarterbacks. And it doesn't even have to be a mobile quarterback per se. Even Daniel Jones.
Carson Wentz too, man.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Even Ryan Fitzpatrick got loose a couple of times in the Dolphins game. I mean, any quarterback who can run just a little bit tends to torch us on defense. So, and with Cam Newton, the Patriots are obviously going to game plan to run him. He has his own design runs, and he, will run whenever he gets the window to do so. So, if the Niners can't contain, defense, like you said, Sam, it's going to look terrible if they can't contain Cam because the receivers aren't going to scare you. They aren't really scare you. N'Keal Harry, Edelman, Jameer Byrd, those guys don't really scare you.
Yeah.
Nobody at tight end really scares you. The Broncos locked them up for most of that game last week. And the secondary locked up a much better receiving core in Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds, and Van Jefferson last week. So, the secondary should be able to do their job, even with Ward and Tardell. I think Harris and Moore should be okay. Back there at safety, I think safety is a little bit, more replaceable than corner is. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to stopping Cam Newton on, with his legs. I mean, you got to keep him in the pocket, force him to throw the ball downfield, and you'll be in good position for most of the game. But yeah, like you said, they if they can't contain him, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a very ugly Sunday if they can't keep him in the
Absolutely.
pocket.
I mean, containing him, that's like I can't state how important that is. And I want to bring up Bean's comment right here. Cam Newton over under 100 rushing yards. The fact that you're even asking that question just goes to show
if he goes over, we lose.
If he goes over, that's ridiculous. I have him going under, but the fact that he's even asking that question just goes to show how bad our defense is against mobile quarterbacks. And not only is it Cam that we have to play Russ next week too. So I'm hoping this team made preparations for both quarterbacks and is trying to look ahead, get ahead of the game, focus on stopping the mobile quarterback, because right now that's the main goal. And I know last year when we played Lamar, we honestly did a decent job. I mean, the game was kept close, but it still wasn't the greatest show. And yes, it was MVP Lamar, so I think you can probably give an excuse like it's Lamar Jackson. But I mean, still though, I mean, it's so hard for this team just stop mobile quarterbacks. Kyler Murray has torched us 2 times. The first time didn't do much. Second time did phenomenal. Third time was hands down his best performance against us. Who else? I'm trying to think of other guys that we played last year besides Lamar. Can you think of any? Or Russell Wilson, kind of.
Russell.
But Russ.
Really, almost anybody who can run a little bit, kind of torched us. Trying to think who else we played last year.
It's hard to remember. There weren't that many mobile quarterbacks, I gotta say. I mean,
but I think to the defense of last year, teams didn't really know we could defend mobile quarterbacks that well until later into the year. So I think like going into this season now, it's more of a quick passing game, get the quarterback out of the pocket, to move the ball against the defense. And now this defense is super injured, so we don't even have the guys we were struggling with earlier.
Yeah, man,
because the defense is super banged up. So I mean, just pray to God that they find a way to keep it in the pocket, because if they don't, it'll be ugly not only today but going forward.
Absolutely. And I mean, you kind of said like all the injuries. The loss of D Ford has definitely hurt us against the run. And I mean, I've been saying this for a while that he's the X factor of this D, because the D, I mean, they need that speed rusher guy. And yes, we have Kerry Hyder, who's pretty good this year, but he's no healthy D Ford. I mean, D Ford is so crucial to this defense when stopping the run, stopping mobile quarterbacks. He was out for I believe he was out the Ravens game against Lamar. He was out for one of the Cardinals games, I believe, last year, and then he was out. He's been out forever. He played in the Kyler Murray game, but I mean, obviously, he's been on the limited snap count for a while. So, I mean, it goes to show how crucial this D is and how Robert Saleh has just failed to make adjustments time and time again. And I mean, I don't know, what are your thoughts on Robert Saleh? Because I feel like sometimes I stand alone by saying like this dude's not good. He's not making adjustments. I want to hear that.
I personally, if they can get Dan Quinn this offseason, go get Dan Quinn, because Robert Saleh. I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, before this defense had the elite talent, we saw what he was made of. Normally that's what you see when a coach is made of, when they don't have the talent to be elite. Once you get the elite talent, they can cover up almost anything. The pass rush was so good last year, you didn't really have to do much. You just call cover 3, and then you just let the boys do work down in the trenches. So, I mean, adjustments. I don't trust Saleh, and go up against Josh McDaniels. I worry about that coaching matchup right there, because McDaniels is going to make adjustments throughout the game. I don't know if Saleh will. And without the talent, he's going to have to, because they don't have the elite talent to just to cover up some of their mistakes. So. And you're missing your 2 starting safeties. So what's he going to do about that? I mean, it's I don't like the matchup at coaching for this game. I think McDaniels can go crazy on Saleh if he doesn't make the right adjustments in this game.
Yeah, man, I'm totally with you. And also, not to mention, not only Josh McDaniels, but you're going up against the greatest head coach of all time, and Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
let's not ignore that right now, because I mean, they're going to throw a lot of stuff at Robert Saleh, and I am very concerned that he's not going to be able to adjust to this. And I think Kyle Shanahan on the Friday press conference, they talked about stopping mobile quarterback. And I forget what he said, but he said, like, yes, we've been working on it. We're kind of going with the same plan, or something like that. I might be wrong, but that goes to show, like, are you really making adjustments when you're going? I mean, yes, Kyler Murray is better than Cam Newton, in my opinion, when it comes to rushing. But still, man, you gotta make adjustments, whether or not you're playing Lamar Jackson, whether or not you're playing Cam Newton. You got to make adjustments to those mobile quarterbacks. I'm just so concerned that's not going to be the case today.
Yeah, and numerous other teams have found ways to do it. We've seen Murray struggle to run against other teams, fairly easily. We've seen Russell, have a hard time running on other teams fairly easily. I mean, it can be done. It's just this team doesn't seem to have a good plan to do it. And hearing that, it sounds like what Shanahan's trying to say there is that they like their plan. They just think the players need to execute it better. That's what that sounds like to me. But, I mean, if the players aren't executing the plan you want to, you might have to come up with a new plan. So I don't know how I feel about that going into this game.
And like you talk about that plan, we're missing both safeties. You're missing your cornerback one. You're missing one of your top linebackers. You're missing a ton of defensive linemen. I mean, does that plan really work, especially if all those guys were healthy against Kyler Murray? Is that going to carry on into today? I don't know if it is. And you talked about, like, you've seen these quarterbacks get stopped. Cam Newton, before he was a Patriot, was 0-8 going into in his last 8 games.
Yeah.
This dude can be stopped easily. This dude is not the MVP Cam we saw in 2015. This dude is a completely different Cam Newton. We can easily stop this guy. This dude is no Kyler Murray, no Russell Wilson. This guy's, I would say he's slightly worse than Kyler Murray, not on Russell Wilson's tier at all. This dude we can easily stop today. We're going to have to do that if the defense wants to succeed and win this game. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we talked about the defense. Let's move on to the offense. What's your offense key today, Kobe?
Run the football successfully. Everything in this offense starts with the run and ends with the run. If the run game doesn't, do well this game, I don't trust Garoppolo against that Patriots secondary to consistently get us down the field. I just don't. That secondary is way too good. Devin McCourty, Jason McCourty, Stefan Gilmore. If this turns into a passing game for the offense, I don't feel good about our chances. We have to make sure we run the ball so we can run play action. So we can get Garoppolo some easy throws. I don't know. I mean, his ankle should be a lot better this week than it was last week, and obviously it looked a lot better last week as well.
It looked a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as passing the ball, I think Garoppolo should be in a better spot. I want to see, when we do pass, I want to see play actions. I want to see bootleg, rollouts. I want to see the screens. I want to see more touch passes to Debo. And I want to see Hasty as running back number 1. I think he's probably the best guy to start with Mostert out to keep the running game effective. I just want to see us continuing to run the ball. I mean, Shanahan says the game plan for the offense, what he wants to do, he wants to have more runs than the other team, which is around like 30, 35. Yeah. And he wants to, dominate the time of possession. So run the ball, keep the defense off the field, keep the defense fresh. Let's make this game quick and easy for the team. It's just, dominating the run game. That's what I want to see.
Great minds think alike, because I got the same thing as you. And you mentioned JaMycal Hasty. I mean, I keep saying this. I might as well just say it again. I've been saying all along that this dude's going to contribute in a big way. I think today could be a breakout game for JaMycal Hasty. I'm so excited to see him play. But the run game definitely has to execute and do their job. I think according to ESPN Fantasy, it's not the best tracking for run D, but it's just easy to get. New England has the 4th best run D according to ESPN Fantasy. So if we break through that run D, that's definitely going to throw them off a bit. I think, and also with the depleted backs, usually you have Mostert, which isn't really concerned with this 49ers offense when you have Mostert on the field. Now you have McKinnon, you got Hasty, you got Wilson, who's coming off a calf injury. So really, you're gonna see a lot of McKinnon and Hasty today. I don't think you're gonna see much of Wilson because of that injury. They might try Healy. He was questionable coming into the game. He got healthy. He's now playing as of last night. So I definitely think you're gonna see a lot of Hasty, McKinnon. They're gonna have to execute today, show how they can be an RB1 and 2 in a backfield like Kyle Shanahan's. And I mean, as I've been saying before, Shanahan can really work with any running back he wants and make them successful. So I'm hoping that's the case today. I'm hoping we can break through that D, and I'm hoping this run game can be efficient and we can get a win today. So, yeah, that's really all I have for that. You said everything else I wanted to say. So if you have anything else, no, it's all good. But if you have anything else, just anything else for that?
Well, I mean, Garoppolo once again has to look good. When he is called upon, he's going to have to execute. So, because obviously – he's a little hot this season. A lot of people are losing patience with him, and that's not just fans. That's people in the coaching staff as well. We've seen a lot of clips where Shanahan is throwing his hands up in the air like, what was that? After Garoppolo, overthrows somebody or makes an incorrect read. So, and we didn't used to see that. now Shanahan's starting to lose his patience, obviously, because there were missed opportunities in that Super Bowl where Garoppolo could have made some plays here or there to change the outcome of that game. So, I mean, that's obviously the end goal. So, yeah, even, the offense and the coaching staff is starting to get a little fed up with some of Garoppolo's inconsistencies. So he needs to build upon last game. His ankle is going to be better this week. So, as far as passing the ball, he should be more comfortable. But yeah, I want to see Garoppolo continue to take steps forward because I would like to not be looking for another quarterback this offseason.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And I mean, I do think that some of Garoppolo's struggles do have to go with Shanahan's lack of trust into him. I'm not saying I'm not taking all the blame off of Jimmy Garoppolo. There's definitely some things to blame about him, especially the week 1 game against Arizona. That was really all on him, in my opinion. But with a healthy ankle now, I think you can trust him a little bit more. I liked how they trust him with the high ankle sprain in the Jets game for that second quarter when he got hurt. But they got to carry on that trust. I'm hoping that happens today. If Jimmy Garoppolo goes off against the Patriots, how big of a story would that be, man? That would just be
I'm sure
amazing.
He wants to, too. He said he had this game for a while. So, I mean, maybe, we might see really good Jimmy today. He might be motivated to really, perform well in this game, which he should be any game. But,
yeah, I mean, he should be. Yeah, he should be. Yeah, it should be any game. But, I mean, this is the guy that, this is the team that traded you. They said, we're going to keep Tom Brady. We're going to get rid of you. And now Tom Brady's gone. And they have Cam Newton, which was kind of lucky that he didn't get signed by anyone else. But that could have been Garoppolo's job. So he's definitely going to want to have that revenge game against the New England Patriots. So if he goes off to it, that would just be an amazing story to see for this team. But, yeah, man, I think we both said run game execution is definitely going to be the offensive key of the game. But, I mean, really you got to execute on all sides of the ball. That's how you win football games. But in my opinion, run's definitely a bit more important. We'll get to passing a little bit. I have something on the Patriots side about our pass game. But, yeah, you got anything else to say about the offense?
Not really. Yeah, just basically run the ball, make the job easier for the offensive lineman, make the job easier for your quarterback, and then keep the defense off the field as much as you can. So that's keys to the offense for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally with you on that. All right, let's move on to the New England offense. So my offense key for the Patriots is just locking down the Niners receivers and tight ends. And it's mainly because the Patriots have a pretty good run D this year. They should be able to keep that up unless Hasty goes off, which I'm hoping happens for us. But let's be real, McKinnon and Hasty are no Raheem Mostert. So the run D should be pretty decent for the New England Patriots today. We'll have to see how that goes, but that's my prediction right now. The Niners are going to have to probably pass a lot because, in my opinion, spoiler alert, I have the Niners losing this game. I do think the Niners are going to be down a lot in this game. So I do think they're going to pass a lot, try to get those red zone opportunities quickly and efficiently. So you could see a lot of passing today. And if New England's just going to lock down everyone, there is no way this receiving core, this tight end core, Jimmy Garoppolo, there's no way we're going to do anything on offense. This could be a very ugly game, as Brandon the Buck said. If they're locking down our corners, we can't get the run going. It's just going to look really bad. Personally, I do think that New England definitely needs to step up their pass defense. Gilmore's looked pretty bad this season, let's be real. McCourty brothers have been okay. I don't know who their other safety is starting. Is it Kyle Duggar? Do you know? Or
I want to say it starts with a J, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, I mean, you got McCourty, Jason McCourty, Devin McCourty, Stefan Gilmore, and someone else. I can just look it up real quick.
I'm having brain fart here. I'm not.
Yeah, if I just go to Patriots depth chart really quickly, it's Adrian. So Jason McCourty, Adrian Phillips, Devin McCourty, Stefan Gilmore. So yeah, all those guys are going to have a crucial part in locking down these receivers today, these tight ends, whoever the receiving target is, whether it's a running back, whether it's a wide receiver, tight end, maybe we run an offensive lineman trick play, whoever we're passing the ball to, they're going to have to lock down today. If they lock them down, there's no way this offense is going forward. Plus for them, because they need to step up their pass game desperately if they want to make the playoffs, especially competing with a really strong Buffalo team in the AFC East, excuse me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, obviously for the Niners, we said, got to run the football. We'll find the Patriots. I want to make Garoppolo beat me. I'm going to stack the box, I'm going to give him no rushing lanes. And I'm going to make Garoppolo make throws against the secondary. which, it's a chance that he might not be able to do. So, yeah, the Patriots definitely want to shut down this offense with them. If the running game doesn't work, I think they'll have no problem doing because of the talent in that secondary. Yeah, if I'm the Patriots, I'm definitely making Garoppolo win this game because that's what most teams do. That's what most teams do want to beat the Niners. That's what their game plan is. We're going to stack the box. We're going to stop the run. We're going to sell out for the run. We're going to make Garoppolo make big-time throws in this game. And, if the Niners can't run the football, it's going to be pretty easy to do. So when you talk about it, it starts sounding bad. Yeah, I see it. You predict the loss here. Yeah, it's definitely possible because we're going up against a very good coaching staff, so they're going to have a very good game plan going into this game. We have to execute at a high level to go up against this, going up against this team. They're not going to have many mental errors. They're not going to have many, they're going to be able to adjust at a very high level. Their game plan is going to be make Garoppolo win the game. We're not going to let the run game beat us. We're not going to let, Garoppolo only throw 8 passes past 15 yards and they just put up 27 points on us. Yeah, Patriots are going to want to stack the box, not give and without Mostert, you don't really have to worry about, him in the backfield. So they're probably not going, they're going to sell out for the run, give these backs no kind of rushing lanes, make it very tough for them to get anything going, put us, get us in 3rd and longs, like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, with a little success. Garoppolo is going to have to make some big plays in this game, most likely, if they're able to successfully stop the run. So
yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned Mostert being out and who they're going up against. Yes, we all know that they're going up McKinnon, Hasty, Wilson. But if we look at it from a deeper perspective, they're going up against a running back who has torn his ACL in the past 2 seasons, has been a satellite back for most of his career, and is coming in an RB1 role now, which he's only had 1 other time, or 2 other times, I should say. And that was weeks 3 and 4, which he was okay in, I guess. I feel like they used him a lot more in the passing game, and they really rotated through that committee a lot. And then also, you're going up against an undrafted free agent. The Patriots should be able to stop the run. That's why I had them as our key to the game, because if we can break through that, that's looking really good. They're going to want to make Garoppolo throw. They're going to have to lock down the wide receivers if they want to make Garoppolo throw. So, I really like this matchup for the New England Patriots, I got to say. So it's definitely scary. It's definitely it could be an ugly performance for us. It could be a great performance, but I'm definitely a bit more pessimistic about everything today. So yeah, man, I'm hoping this offense can just get that breakthrough. Because you won the game last week, but let's be real. I really think that Jared Goff just having such an awful performance definitely contributed to the win. It was only a 1 possession game. So, my confidence level is still pretty low in this team right now. I know last time it was at 0, somewhere around there. This year it's slightly up because, yes, you got the win last week, but I'm not hopping on the I'm not going to hop on the bandwagon just yet and say, oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl, because that's not happening at this point now.
Yeah, this isn't last year's team. This isn't the 2019 Niners. This team hasn't had the injury luck they had last year. We're missing a lot of important players on this team. Especially with the team was built on with the pass rush and that defensive line. Kinlaw is not Buckner. He's been playing well, but he's not Buckner. What Buckner was last year. Armstead has been forced to play outside this year. They traded for Jordan Phillips, but I don't think he can play this week. It'll probably be next week against Seattle.
Jordan
plays his first game. My bad, Jordan Willis.
Yeah, Jordan.
My bad. I got the last name.
Jordan Phillips on the Cardinals. I was like,
yeah,
what?
I was thinking of Willis. Phillips when you said Adrian Phillips from safety, but Jordan Willis from the New York Jets, who, he hasn't been that great of a pass rusher so far in the NFL, so we don't know what we're going to get out of him. But I think that trade was made just to put Armstead on the inside. But yeah, this isn't last year's Niners. The offense is, banged up. The defense is banged up. It's going to take, monumental efforts from a lot of backups to win games against very good teams this season. And I don't have the confidence that they'll be able to do it, missing so many key players. Yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah, it's so tough, man. It's so tough.
Absolutely. I got to say this, Kobe. I love how we're saying, this is not last year's Niners team. And it feels like the coaching is not at this point, we should just be the head coaches of the team. That's why I'm really, I just have such low confidence, because I don't think this team realizes that this is not last year's Niners. There's a ton of injuries. You have no Nick Bosa, no D Ford. Those are two crucial defensive linemen out of that defensive line that you spent so much time building and running games plans through. Now they're gone. You have to switch it up a bit, and they're not doing that because they're trying to use Kerry Hyder and Dion Jordan in those roles. Eric Armstead, they're trying to use in that role. DJ Jones, they're bringing inside. Javon Kinlaw, as you said, he's DeForest Buckner. Even our linebacker core, I mean, we had Greenlaw out for a bit. Quan Alexander's out. And by the way, that Jordan Willis trade, I do think we might use him at linebacker. He's an outside linebacker. We could use him at edge. We could use him at linebacker. But I feel like it's going to be at linebacker because of Quan Alexander. He got injured. And then a few days after, then we get Jordan Willis or something like that. I do have a slight concern that Quan Alexander's high ankle sprain may be bad, but we'll see how that goes. He hasn't been placed on IR yet, so that's definitely.
Yeah, we didn't hear about it. We didn't hear about it until the press conference the day after. So maybe I think he played through it, right? He played the entire game.
Yeah, he played through it, but I mean the fact that you bring in an outside linebacker who can play linebacker or defensive end. I just have a feeling like the time of when they did that, I just feel like it's a linebacker. They're using him as a linebacker to help get that linebacker depth to replace Quan. But we'll see. I definitely like the idea of using him on the outside, pushing Armstead inside. Because, I mean, DJ Jones, I love the guy, but he definitely needs to step it up a bit more. Hopefully he can do that today, but I don't see that happening. But yeah, I think Armstead inside is definitely the best option for this team. Kick some guy outside. It's unfortunate that Ansah got hurt after only a few snaps for us.
Yeah,
that would have been huge. So, yeah, man. I mean, the injury luck on this team is just ridiculously bad at this point.
Yeah, it's so bad that we don't know what this team is. We don't know what this team is good at. So, exactly. I mean, because last week was the complete opposite of everything we've seen leading into that game. That's why I had us losing that game, and potentially by a lot. And I think the reason they were in that game was because it is a divisional game, and you know your opponent very well. That could have helped too with their game planning and what they were able to accomplish in that game. Just knowing what they're able to how they play just through the years because they've seen each other every year. I think Sean McVay and Shanahan came into the NFC West at the same time, same year, 2017.
Yeah, same year, 2017. Yeah,
so they know each other very well, and the Rams didn't know the Niners much because we're missing almost every key player we normally rely on. So, they kind of had less. They knew less about what we were going to do versus what we knew about what they were going to do. So,
absolutely, and I mean, it could be an advantage to us, but the coaches just got to execute. I mean, we've been talking about the coaches a lot throughout this episode. I talked about them. I've talked ever since like week 4, week 3. I've talked about the coaches all the time because that is what's holding us back right now. I feel like if the coaches can adjust, this team can be a wild card team. Right now, I think Seattle's going to run away with the division, but still, a wild card spot ain't that bad in my opinion, especially when you got guys like Nick Bosa, D Ford. It just your entire team just getting hurt. A wild card spot ain't bad. The coaches just got to execute. So, yeah, that's really all I got for our defense when we were talking about their offense. So, you got anything else about about New England's offense or our defense or anything else you want to add before we move on to New England defense?
Yeah, I think it's simple. Make Garoppolo throw. I mean, that's probably the game plan,
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
you let the run game work, and then Garoppolo gets easy throws. You can't commit, to the pass because, we'll be in, like third and shorts and second and shorts, and they can run play action and all that good stuff. So, yeah, make Garoppolo throw is the game plan. So, and I expect to see that. So, we'll see if Garoppolo can come through. Yeah,
definitely. This should be an all-around good game for the New England defense. I wouldn't be surprised if you see every guy everywhere on the field. So definitely watch out for the New England defense. They were, I believe, like one of the best. They were like the number 2 defense last year. So you can't underestimate.
Number 1 a lot of. I think we were behind them for a lot of.
I think it was for most of the year we were number. Yeah, it was New England 1, us 2. I think it finished out with like Pittsburgh 1, New England 2. Like statistically,
something like that.
Pittsburgh 1, New England 2.
Good defense.
Yeah, definitely a good defense. You cannot underestimate this D at all. Even though they lost key pieces, still, man, don't underestimate the New England Patriots. We've learned that throughout the past 20 years. Before I was even born, we knew that. So
yeah, never count out the Patriots. Even when you think they're down, they are far from it.
Yeah, never ever count out the Patriots. So definitely. All right, New England defensive key. My defensive key for the New England. Oh wait, we were talking about
around. Just
Yeah, we just
around.
swapped around. We started with defense. I think I said offense, and we talked about defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So that was that's all good. That's my bad. So that was the Patriots' defensive key. The Patriots' offensive key, in my opinion, as I kind of touched on a little bit before, efficient play action. And I mean, Bill Belichick, obviously, as we said, the greatest coach ahead time. You brought up why I want to call Josh McDaniels. I want to call him Sean McDermott for some reason. I mean, they're going to run a lot of play action with the Niners' woes at stopping the mobile quarterback. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of plays designed to get Cam open or confuse the Niners D today, because it's simple. It's easy to do. It's that simple. And if they keep getting the job done, there is absolutely no way we win this game. So I'm expecting to see a lot of play action today. Bill Belichick, unlike Robert Saleh, can make adjustments on their on whatever side of the ball they're doing. So yeah, I don't see Saleh making the adjustments, as we've talked a lot about. So I expect New England to run a lot of play action today. That's definitely going to be something to watch out for, and it's definitely going to be hard for us to stop.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of bootlegs. Probably going to see a lot of read option too, making the defensive lineman either collapse on the back or choose to contain Newton. Because the defensive line, they aren't very disciplined when it comes to the read option. We saw numerous times in the Eagle game where the outside defensive end will just collapse into the running back, and then we saw Winston pull it out and then start running. We saw Daniel Jones a couple of times where the ends would collapse in the running back. He takes it out and he's off and running. That could be a big focus on this. We might see like 6 or 7 read options, but at least, if not a lot more, if the team looks like they're struggling with it. So yeah, I mean, I think the game plan revolves around getting Newton out of the pocket and forcing his defensive lineman to make some plays that they haven't made yet. We had no sacks last week and very little pressures. I mean, Jared Goff.
How many sacks do we have on the year? Is it like 3 or something?
I think it's.
I don't even
4
know.
Or 5. I think we had that. Like one game numerous times last year, and we have like probably 4 or 5 total. Right. I mean,
now. we're getting the QB pressure. We're just not getting the sacks. So I mean, yes, sacks. You definitely want those sacks. We're not getting those sacks, but QB pressure. As long as you're getting QB pressure and just making the quarterback uncomfortable, it's definitely fine. Sacks kind of like a bonus point, but yeah, as you said, got to keep them in the pocket. Okay, continue. I was just trying to touch up on that really quickly.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I mean, Newton's going to have his runs. We're not going to expect him to have like no big runs in this game. He's going to have his runs. It happens to everybody. But you just got to, keep him in the pocket, as much as you can. We saw the Broncos able to do it last week, and we saw how the offense looked when Newton can't get out of the pocket and make plays. Those receivers outside of Edelman aren't the best at creating, separation. They couldn't really get open last week, and this secondary was able to stay glued to receivers all game last week against the Rams. So, if the defensive lineman can make Cam Newton throw the ball, that's not what the Patriots want. They want the run game to work so that way they can get the read option to work, and then you can have play actions where Newton gets out of the pocket, force the defensive lineman to have to contain him. I don't think we can. We haven't done it yet. I don't expect us to do it now. But yeah, like you said, just getting Newton mobile, get him out of the pocket, and allow him to make plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to bring up William Dudley's comment right here. He says, it's not going to be our pass rush this year. It's going to be the secondary. And in my opinion, that's really the concern, because our defense runs through the pass rush. It has ran through the pass rush throughout Lynch and Shanahan's tenure here. We've never really gone after our secondary. The only capital we've really hey man, it happens every time. The only capital that we've really spent on secondary is Richard Sherman. I mean, yes, you use the third on Akello. Yes, you use the third on Tarvarius Moore. But, I mean, they haven't done much here. And Akello is probably gone after this year. Tarvarius Moore, I know we wanted to move him to the free safety position before Ward broke out. So, yeah, I mean, it's the pass rush that runs this defense and drives this defense. So that's definitely the concern. And when you're trying to stop a mobile quarterback, the secondary is going to be focused on stopping the receivers. So when he gets out of the pocket, he'll be gotta get those guys on gotta lock up those guys. But when he's out of the pocket, it's definitely the linebacker, that front seven, gotta stop Cam Newton. So that, in my opinion, that is definitely the concern for this team, is that the fact that it has to run through the secondary this year. We don't want to see that. I mean, the Rams game, yes, Barrett and Mosley dominated that game, but still, man, it's you got to get that pass rush up and running.
Yeah, for sure. I don't. This team wasn't built to lock down receivers. It's not built like the Patriots are. The Patriots don't have a great pass rush, but they have a great secondary, and that makes up for not be able to get to the quarterback that fast. But that's not the way this team was built. This team was built to get to the quarterback, so your corners don't have to cover that long. Now Jason Verrett has been a very pleasant surprise. He hasn't. I think he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league as far as ratings go. For this season, man. Which is we didn't, and that's almost like the luck with this team. Emmanuel Mosley's undrafted free agent. We didn't plan on him being as good either. We've almost gotten lucky at cornerback that some guys have panned out. We didn't really expect them to. The guys they relied on, outside of Sherman, haven't really done well. So,
I mean, the fact that we're bringing in guys like we're just re-signing Dante Johnson, Brian Allen, Greg. I mean, I told you on the podcast, all three of those guys are on my fucking awful five. So, I mean,
man. I mean, they're on the field and you just don't feel too good about it. I mean, this secondary isn't that deep. And now even without K'Waun Williams, we don't know how much. And we were going to see a lot of Edelman on Jamar Taylor. Taylor did well last week. I don't think they attacked him that much, surprisingly. I thought they could have attacked him more with Cooper Kupp. I don't know what that was all about. But I expect Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick to plan on attacking the weakest link of the cornerback, the cornerbacks, which is Jamar Taylor, in the slot with Edelman. That could get out of hand too in the passing game if Edelman on Jamar Taylor. I don't know how well he'll hold up there, but
yeah, definitely. I think Verrett can play slot too, but then they're gonna pick on Dante Johnson.
Whoever's on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And the thing is that when your best receiver is the slot receiver, it's definitely going to be a lot harder to stop them because of no K'Waun Williams. You want K'Waun going up against a guy like Julian Edelman. You don't have the luxury to do that anymore. You're going to have to move. You're going to have to go trust Jamar Taylor, who, by the way, don't get me wrong, he did pretty well last week. Let's be real. That was a good game from Jamar Taylor. He knows the system well, which is good. That's always good to see in a new guy who's not supposed to get that much playing time. So, yeah, man, it's definitely, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how we handle Julian Edelman today because you have, Verrett, you can move over there, put Witherspoon or Dante Johnson in, or you just stick with Taylor. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. I think that also could change throughout the game depending on how Jamar Taylor does or how Jason Verrett does or how Witherspoon and Dante Johnson do. But it's definitely going to be very interesting to see where they use Verrett and how they guard Julian Edelman. So that's definitely another thing to watch out for today. And also, when we talk about play action, they're going to be looking at him right away because that could fool off whoever the cornerback is, thinking it's a run play that gets off of Edelman. Edelman can create that separation, get the ball to him, gone. So there's definitely a lot of question marks surrounding Julian Edelman in the passing game for the New England Patriots today. So,
yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the passing game is going to go through him. Him and Newton are going to be linking up a lot. Like we saw in that Seattle game, he might have one of those kind of games against our secondary where he's just making play after play. It's going to be tough, man. I'm not looking forward to seeing how this defense tries to contain this offense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping William Dudley says right. Oh, that's not it. William Dudley says right here, we still rank 5th in defense. Hopefully this team can play like the 5th ranked defense in the league today.
Here's what I'll say about that. I mean, we did play the Jets and the Giants, and I think that really helps out your ranking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they aren't that great.
Yeah, I mean, and like going against mobile quarterbacks, this team is so much worse on defense. So
yes,
I think saying that you rank 5th in D, it's not really the best comparison when going up against a team like the New England Patriots who have a mobile quarterback right now. But you just got to hope that ranking lives up to its standard and that this team can play like the 5th ranked defense and stop this New England offense, who, in my opinion, is mediocre at best. It's just the fact that they have Cam Newton definitely hurts our D a lot. So, yeah, man. You got anything else to say about the New England offense?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, basically, what they want to do on offense comes off of what we say we need to do on defense, and that's contain Cam Newton. So, if I'm the Patriots, I want to get Newton out of the pocket, as much as possible, force his lineman to try to get him down. Which even if we do get to him, they might get like stiff armed or something. So it's just it's gonna be about getting Newton out of the pocket, allowing him to make plays because that's when he's at his best. When he's like, you want him to throw if you're the Niners. You want him to have to sit in that pocket. You want him to throw.
Keep him in that pocket. That's going to be so crucial for the Niners D. If he's in that pocket, the chances of winning are much, much higher for the San Francisco 49ers. New England, they're going to obviously try to get him out of the pocket. So Cam Newton, the offense is really going to revolve around him today. The game, I should say, is really going to revolve around him today because he's going to control how this game goes, who wins this game, who does well. It's going to be very interesting to see that today. So, yeah. All right, let's move into some key players. We're just going to highlight a few players from both teams. Let's start off with the Niners. I guess I can start this one. First two guys, Jerick McKinnon and JaMycal Hasty. These guys, I mean, we talked about the run game a lot, how this run game is going to have to execute today a lot. I'm expecting a lot of checkdowns to not JaMycal Hasty, Jerick McKinnon, because he is that satellite back. He can play that satellite back role. But I think there's definitely is a lot of running options with McKinnon and Hasty. I'm not putting Jeff Wilson there because he's coming off that calf injury. I don't know if we're going to see him much today. But, yeah, Deebo Samuel probably going to be going against a guy like Stefan Gilmore or Brandon Ayuk. It's definitely going to be very fun to see how they're going to use Deebo Samuel, what tricks they're going to run with him. So, yeah. Also, got to shout out the tight end Gore. Happy National Tight End Day, Kobe.
Happy National Tight End. We forgot all about that.
We forgot all about. I mean, I put it in the thumbnail, but happy National Tight End Day to anybody watching this video. We gotta give the tight end some love. So, got to make sure to look out for the tight ends today. Charlie Warner, Ross Dwelly, George Kittle. Just be on the lookout for all of those guys today. On the defensive side, I'm gonna go with Kerry Hyder as my defensive line pick. New England's tackles have not been that good this year. Kerry Hyder is a speed rusher who can help stop Cam Newton. So I think he's going to be very crucial to this game today. Game plan for the 49ers. So look out for him doing a lot. And then my last key players, it's more like position, but safeties with Ward and Tart out. It's going to be very interesting to see how Tarvarius Moore, and it's probably going to be Marcel Harris. They haven't ruled out Jonathan Cyprien yet, but it's going to be very interesting to see how they use those guys. So those are my Niners key players for the game. What you got, Kobe?
Yeah, I'm going to go for offense, Jimmy Garoppolo. Even the run game does do well. There's going to be times where Garoppolo has to make, a critical third down throw to keep a drive going, or maybe, down the red zone, make a critical throw in the red zone, put some points on the board. So even if the run game does work this week, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be very important, just like he was last week. The run game did well last week, but there were still numerous times when Garoppolo had to make big throws to get the offense down the field. So, and against the secondary, it's going to be rough, but you're going to have to do it. Otherwise, if Garoppolo can't, move the ball downfield with his arm, then the running game is going to falter because of that. So you have, it has to work together. Yeah, the pass has to help the run has to help the pass. So, yeah, I think for offense, I'm going to go Jimmy Garoppolo. And obviously, National Tight End Day. George Kittle is going to have a day today. I think Kittle, this is Kittle's holiday. He made his holiday. So, I expect him to have a pretty good game today. So, but for defense, I'm going to go with the guy who is basically always been every week, Fred Warner. I mean, he has been the guy who helps clean up mistakes made by the line.
Field,
he's all over the place. I mean, man, he's so good. People say, I think he's the best linebacker in the league. I mean, and that's like an unbiased thing. I think if you watch him play,
he's definitely like one of them. I mean, I kind of got focused
top three at the least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, top three for sure. So
yeah. But I personally, just because he cleans so much stuff up, the defensive line is so devastated with injuries that it's not a lot of backs getting through the line of scrimmage, and he has to go and clean it up. We saw it numerous times. If you just watch him play, he's flying sideline to sideline, making plays all over the field. And then that's not even counting his pass coverage. His pass coverage is probably best in the league at linebacker. I mean, people just don't even really test him. So, yeah, Fred Warner's, I mean, especially with Newton potentially, having a day running, I think Fred Warner's going to be the guy who's going to clean a lot of that up. I don't think the line can do it by themselves. Yeah, William, you're correct. He does everything. For the front seven. Not even just the front seven. He just is secondary too. I mean, he's fantastic in coverage. I mean, it's just
absolutely, man.
He's like, yeah, people don't really test him. When they do, they normally pay the price. So yeah, Fred Warner. I mean, he's going to be the guy that's going to clean up a lot of stuff in the run game, and and they don't really have a tight end threat. So just as far as like helping cover the slot receivers over the middle of the field, he'll be big for that too. So maybe possibly helping out Jamar Taylor with Julian Edelman in the slot. The chance he might get a lot of those duties as well in pass coverage. So yeah, Fred Warner is going to continue to be, Fred Warner on defense to help the defense shut down this Patriots offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned Jimmy Garoppolo. If he can throw 3 touchdowns, man, that would be ridiculous. Because I mean, you said it. Their secondary is pretty damn good. I mean, Gilmore was the best cornerback in the league last year. This year, he hasn't been able to step it up as much, but they still got McCourty brothers as well. If Jimmy Garoppolo can throw for 3 touchdowns, that would be insane. It's just up to the defense to stop Cam Newton. But yeah, man, 3 touchdowns for Garoppolo would be absolutely ridiculous there. So yeah, those are all our Niners guys. How about you start off with Patriots, Kobe? Patriots guys.
Yeah, Patriots defense is going to be that front seven. It's going to name the whole front seven. It's stopping the running game. That front seven is going to have to be real big and making stiffen out the holes and getting a good push on the Niners offensive line, which is not easy to do when this Niners offensive line gets it going in the run game. They push people around with Kittle and Trent Williams and McGlinchey is at his best when he's run blocking. And
Absolutely.
We know about Juice, and he comes in and gets a couple of chop blocks here and there to help spring some back. So yeah, it's gonna be on this entire front seven to help keep this Niners run game from getting going, because that's how you want to stop this Niners offense, by stopping the run game first, and then everything else take care of itself. Because Garoppolo, you force him to throw, you might get a couple. So yeah, for the defense, it's something about that whole front seven. Because you got to play. I don't think their defense has anybody in on that front seven in particular that's capable of ruining the game, for you single handedly. So it's going to be about that front seven playing as a unit and helping to keep that run game, stuffed. So for the offense, it's going to be Cam Newton, because no one else in the offense is going to be able to, to single handedly win a game for him. Maybe that's how the Edelman, but then again, who's got to get him the ball? Cam Newton. So. Yeah, Patriots offensive player, key player is Newton. Defense is going to be that whole entire front seven, just stopping that run game to make it easy for a secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cam is going to be the key player of this entire game for me. And I think you too. We talked about Cam so much during the show. He's going to be so crucial to this game. I really don't need to say more. We've talked so much about him. So
yeah,
let's just move on to my next guy on offense, Julian Edelman. We talked about him a little bit. I didn't have him going in as one of my key players, but hey, man, discussion leads to bigger thoughts. So I'm going to add Julian Edelman to my key players. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Niners cover him. I'm not looking at how the Patriots use him, because I think we know how they use him. It's just the coverage aspect of that, of how they use Edelman. So that'll be very interesting to see today. Also, got a shout at the tight ends. Happy National Tight End Day yet again. The New England Patriots tight ends, they got Ryan Izzo, Devin Asiasi, Dalton Keene. I'm not too concerned about them, but it's National Tight End Day. You got to shout them out no matter what. So, yeah, National Tight End Day, man. Got to give every tight end respect. Tight ends over the league are scoring touchdowns, as George Kittle famously said. Also, let's look at that linebacker core. As you said, that front seven stopping the run. I think the linebacker core is definitely going to help out with that a lot today. I think the Niners offensive line, I think they're probably going to be able to keep it up from last week. The Patriots offensive line is much weaker than the Rams. I'm sorry, defensive line is much weaker than the Rams defensive line. So you're mainly looking at that linebacker core who was pretty depleted over the offseason. They lost Kyle Van Noy. They lost Jamie Collins. Dante Hightower opted out. Those are their 3 starting linebackers. So I don't know who their linebackers are. I think I have the depth chart still pulled up. So their starting linebackers are, so they run a 3-4 scheme. So their guys are Chase Winovich, who's mainly the edge guy. He kind of rushes often. Jawan Bentley, Brandon Copeland, and John Simon. So 3 of those guys I've never heard of. Chase Winovich I've heard of, but that definitely shows.
They don't really scare you. They're going to play as a unit.
They don't scare you, but they're going to have to step it up today if they want to stop the run. It's mainly the defensive line that's probably going to do the job. The linebacker cores definitely have to step it up, especially if those running backs get past the defensive line, which I think we'll see fairly often today, considering that our run blocking is pretty decent. So, yeah. Also, my last guy for the New England Patriots is Stefan Gilmore. I mentioned Deebo Samuel because it's going to be very interesting to see the tricks that Shanahan has up his sleeve for him. Gilmore's probably going to be covering him, or it might be Ayuk. I don't know, but I think both cornerbacks for the New England Patriots, Jason McCourty, Stefan Gilmore, it's going to be very interesting to see the tricks that the Niners have up their sleeves for the New England Patriots this week. So we'll definitely look at that. And I didn't mention defensive. Well, I mentioned Kerry Hyder, but our defensive line must contain their run and everything there. I didn't mention any of their running backs because, frankly, I'm not too concerned about them. But still, the defensive line has to step it up every game, especially when this team is so depleted.
Yeah, for sure. Everything starts and ends in the trenches. So it's about containing Newton, on defense, and on offense, it's going to be about, getting his run game going for the Niners at least. And then, for the Patriots, it's going to be about stopping the Niners, run game to force them to have to pass the ball more than they want to. And then getting Newton out of the pocket, allowing him to make some big runs. So, everything starts and ends in the trenches. That's how this game's going to go, because these two teams are, don't have the best process in the NFL right now. So it's going to be about just executing game plans. So
yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, it's gonna be an interesting game. The only outcome I don't expect is a Niners blowout.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only outcome I don't expect. I can see this getting ugly for the Niners and the Patriots blowing them out, and obviously it can be close. Close game either way, back and forth. But I don't expect a Niners blowout with this team. I just don't expect one at all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be this could go either way, really. It could be a toss-up. It really all depends on how the 49ers stop Cam Newton. And I think this obviously a great segue to go into score predictions. I think that was kind of imminent at this point. But right now, I'm still a bit pessimistic that that we'll stop Cam. So therefore, I have the New England Patriots winning by a score of 30-20. I do think it will be close, but I do think New England's going to get the edge with Cam Newton. I think you could see a few rushing touchdowns today from him. I have him in daily fantasy. I have him in my normal lineup because I don't think the Niners are going to be able to stop Cam. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. And it could go either way. I mean, William, as he says, he disagrees with us. He has 28-13 Niners. I could definitely see that happening. I don't think, as Kobe just said, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but it could go either way. Personally, I'm a bit pessimistic, so I'm going to go with a Patriots win. Not a big win, though, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, just bottom line, it's hard to even really analyze this 49ers team. We don't know who they are, their whole philosophy. I mean, we know what they want to do, but can they do it? And will they adjust into something else, down the road? So, I mean, what we know so far, if the run game doesn't work, the Niners are probably screwed. And our contain on mobile quarterbacks isn't that great. So, yeah, I mean, things lean. And then, just which coaching staff do you trust more? Do you trust Bill Belichick and his coaching staff or Kyle Shanahan and his? I mean, I think Bill has the advantage there as well. So as far as adjustments and, matchups and what, the game plan's going in, maybe not on offense because Shanahan, will have, a pretty good game plan for the offense. But as far as, the defense and with Robert Saleh against that New England offense is don't know how that'll go. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go. This might be like a low scoring game, not really a low scoring, but not like not gonna see any fireworks on the scoreboard. It's probably gonna be about 21-17. I'm gonna go Patriots here just because, I don't trust the defense. I just don't trust the defense. This offense isn't the offense that's going to be able to put up 30-something points a game. So at least not in my opinion. But yeah, I got the Patriots win this game also at 21-17. This might be it's going to be one of the grinding out games. I think it's going to be just I don't want to say ugly, but it's just going to be rough to get anything going on both sides. But yeah, it will be a great game, William. But
I mean, it might get ugly, might not. Could be I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to get ugly. I think it's what I feel like what's going to happen is it's going to be an ugly game, but it's going to be close at the same time. It's going to be one of those games where we don't deserve to win at all, yet we keep it close. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But yeah, as William said, this will be a great game. So we'll have to see what happens. This should be a very interesting game. You got any final thoughts, Kobe, before I cut out the stream?
Nah, man. Just I'm excited to see the game. See it because we don't, I just want to see what this team is made of. I mean, we don't know. Absolutely. I mean, we had the big Rams win was supposed to make you feel like, oh yeah, we're back. It's like, no, I need to see more. You just see they can be consistent with what what they want to do this season. So absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. Hope you pull it out, obviously. But
yeah, definitely. Well, we are moments from kickoff from the early games, about 4 minutes. So I'm going to end the stream right here. Kobe, appreciate having you on, brother. Thanks for coming on. But anyways, guys, this should be a very fun game to watch. I'm really excited to watch it. So I hope you guys enjoy the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Go Niners.